is that brand new hanging log flint. If I walk up to the flint and punch it away, hey, and roll face, nothing will happen to me. Instead, the devs here have made a gigantic change. If you want to take this flint up, you're going to one of two things. The easy thing, shears. From this point on, if you use a pair of shears and hanging moss flint, that's how you're going to be able to pick it up. Alternatively, go ahead and get your hands on a stone cut but why go through all that trouble? Now this sneaky change was made in Minecraft 1.21.6 This sneaky little trigger with a couple other triggers ended up dropping for Java on 10.10 middle of last week. One of the more interesting changes that we noticed on that preview has to do with lost carpet. Lost carpet is pretty quick to break in your hand, but if you want to go ahead and speed things up, clear out lost carpet a whole lot quicker than it. It's been a thing for years. Other types of ones too. So this is one of those things that we're checking out, discovering together on stream on Friday. It was super fun. If you came to that stream, thank you. If you missed it, you want to see the future, make sure you subscribe and for notifications. Not like this. So here we've got our three different types of carpet. We've got pale moss carpet, the sword thing. It directly just changes that one. We've got the normal moss carpet, the sword thing. I mean, it's always kind of hard to tell with a side-by-side something like this, but it's behaving exactly identical to the other types of moss carpet. They both break in the same place. My big question here, I haven't done this yet, what about normal wool? Oh my god. Has this mechanic been in the game for literally years? I've never thought about it until today. So next on the Pale Guard, there was a nice little Polish thing out of this tree because it was right by my eye. And if we walk around and something's guarded by, we'll find the ball. If I want to kill them, I'll take a punch with my hand. It's quick. Regular sword, and I think it's the same for me. It's a hole. If you use a hole in the pale bond, just like the normal one. I mean, look, this is one of those things that we're speculating, and it's just like small bugs. But sure enough, that bug was polished and patched out as some of the three. The quickest and best way to break this bug, now hands down, is to the hole. It's so sweet to stick out that run. And sound. It's all about the sound for our final change today that I want to talk about here with that one. I'll let you hear it, but wide, it's crunchy, it's pale moss. The carpet was walking on it, it's right now. Now, alongside that nice polish, the Minecraft next update coming out this week, we also had a handful of bug fixes. By a handful, I mean like a solid good handful. Some of the bug fixes on that update were 86 bugs, making low phones and slime flies, fall damage. Today, 2,000. So this is the crazy one. You know how it works. If I'm on a slime block, I go ahead and fall and I don't hit anything. So then I kind of bounce back up. I sneak. And I can't do that whole bounce. How it's been for the longest time. And the mechanic, to be honest, I didn't realize it wasn't intended. But if I go ahead and take a big, large fall and I sneak and I'm falling, there's no fall damage anymore. No matter the height that you fall, if you land on the slime block, it's fall damage from the fall. Oh, that's a huge change. So alongside that really there are a handful of other nice bugs in the polish. For example, and here for interact bubble balance a little bit more. But most importantly, into the future, we got a whole bunch of different tail opening, streaking, and winter drop update things. Fast forward to Friday, right before I stream, they released yet another experiment. Now, it's kind of funny because they're kind of meant to release has tiny small features. They don't really change very much. Light of a highlight pop-up top. You know what? You love it. Under a pretty stated page, you've been looking at it for years. When I select an item on the inventory, I get an info box telling me exactly what that item is. What's up inside a resource pack. All the way at the bottom here, they've got high contrast packs. This is pretty based on that. So for starters, that whole pack that was added to the game a while ago, it's kind of cool, really fire. Nowadays, I go ahead and highlight an item that's on the inventory. That highlight right there is way more a highlight than everything else. Another kind of neat change that went down is on the high contrast pack. It involves one. If I start doing things up in some of the bundles as well with this high contrast pack, now you can see that all these items are popping out like way more than I would have ever before. And this is where I can select it. Once I start selecting things, I get that neon cyan pop. Alongside that, the quality of life page. That's the high contrast pack. We also have a brand new feature that's on the resource pack. The version has bumped up to 42. It's worth a bunch a lot back. Another nice page is how this version involves actually converting up. So let's say I had a zombie village and I wanted to convert. Well, now I can safely put this thing out of the boat, hit it with the boat, give it the apple, and give it a little time. Eventually, once the thing is done converting, it will stay in the boat. Free when this ball was converting, eventually after it was converted, it would just like pop out of the boat, and then you'd have to go and find it. Now, you never know how things go. Really, you can come out at literally any moment. As of the recording of this video, there are actually some bugs queued up in the bug tracker for whatever version comes next, whether that's early or release again. But at least right now, while I'm recording this, there's not another release yet. For that reason, I'm making this video like only a couple of hours before you're actually ending up. So I guess stay tuned. If there's a significant release, I'll make a video. But otherwise, I'll still be making updates. I still believe it's probably coming out next week. Maybe on Tuesday. If there's anything too big, I'll make some sort of the drift along. There's no way you can argue against it. I won't hear it. I'll ban you from the channel. Drift logs are one of the most beautiful blocks of all time in my opinion. The thing that I love about the drift log so much is it's beautiful. Oh, you can put this in like basically build and whatever build you're working on becomes like a million times more beautiful. The brand new fellow log will be making me started because not only is it the most thing brand new texture as well, and of course the like proper coloring of it. I mean that's the color on the log that is games for literally years, a decade. Last week, Minecraft Free 1.50.20 perhaps the largest free of all time. This gigantic implementing the freaking update. Well, it added the brand new update not behind the scenes for this which confirms the devs are really pushing the theory to make this a thing released later. Now, for a little bit more on that, it's really cool difficulty update. If you haven't seen it yet, check out this video now. Drift the logs, they're beautiful. But over here on Bedrock, they're so pretty much the very first thing that I noticed as soon as I jumped into the preview is this drift Halo log. I think it was literally the first block that I looked on and I go, wait, what is, hold on a second, because on Bedrock, it's this. On Java, it's this. Now, you don't even really point out the differences because they're night and day. I'll go ahead and flash them back and forth, like, real quick for you. But, yeah, the Java one is clearly a completely different texture, and it is entirely different home as well. In fact, over on Bedrock, it is this brand new stripped panel log right now. So the top is pretty white and bright. The inside here is specifically only stripped log for the 360, for example, the first one. That's way darker than it is on Java. The texture, too, you can see here, it's not that fancy soft. It's just a recoloration, grayed up. The first log texture is in a reply to a tweet from Brown, the bending goes up the school. The texture man himself and Java wanted to iteration of the basically the latest version. And the Jonathan that confirms the debate is over. For sure, the next Minecraft freaking update feature, well, not that I think about it, yes. Sure. Hopefully later this week, the grayed out version of this log that I'm not going to lie is a little bit of a feature. This would be a nice thing to have, but it's just that this thing would be a nicer thing to have. Well, hopefully, I bet this thing is updated with kind of a funny thing that I noticed about this grayed out pale log thing. Well, in all the projects promos, on Bedrock, they were using Minecraft Java. It is promoted that it's out now on Minecraft Bedrock. As long as both of them better. Next up, moving on. The interesting thing about the Witcher surprised me on Minecraft Bedrock. Like, I guess like it makes sense. It just surprised me is the fact that all of this stuff is not an experiment for the status of Minecraft Bedrock. It's just like straight. Now, usually, it wouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, it's a little bit more of an exciting thing. Stuff that's so sick. But last week, alongside the release of the free 1.21.50.20 for players on Minecraft Android. And for this one, I'm not even talking like the preview version of the game on Minecraft Android. I'm talking like a straight up full and normal release for Minecraft Android. Well, every single one of these features is a gigantic, super long change log. Of course, none other than everything inside of the feature drop. Well, it was actually rolled out today. The whole version. The thing that makes all of this even more insane is the fact that none of this stuff is behind the experiment is possible. Theoretically, last week, you're on Android, you saw an update, you got excited, you went to the world update it, you found out how long it's out of the world, and now you're locked up in the world. So crazily enough, almost as soon as this update released for Android, only a couple of hours later, there was another Minecraft basic update, and all the data ended up go back to the same changes that we made in the first game. So that's the problem, because if you update your game to say if Block doesn't exist, the older yellow log. I mean, think about it. Let's role play. Your Minecraft, you updated your game, you get all the new features, and you update it, you're gone. What do you need? Because Minecraft Minecraft itself. Like, there's no payload, there's no pale beam, there's no pale moss, there's absolutely no bio either. We've already generated it in the world, so what's up with that? The ending of the story with this one is honestly kind of tragic because if you are one of the players who updated your world and got the new updates on Android inside of your main world, well, in these updates, they probably were enabled by default, so your game's just updated. Well, if you open up your world and got any of these new features, or even just open up your world, you probably get out of the picture because the update actually I was doing a little bit more digging into this one too, and I guess this isn't even the first time this happened. Instead, this is just like one of the largest times this happened because this time, the whole update has not been securely or literally just added it on the maybe this is what Mojang meant when they said that something will come to the game. Now this brief, we talked about it in the initial preview video. We talked about it today, it's gigantic. Since the initial video, I've actually found even more inside of the screen. It's pretty big. First things first, the big change when it comes to items inside of the inventory, or specifically grass items. Inside of the inventory, on the hotbar, wherever they can see these grass icons, they've been updated. When they're inside of your inventory, they will no longer be shaded in the correct color. So now default settings, whatever this green is, every single color. And on that note of grass, it's curious first, they changed the flyout. They look so good. I almost feel like they can actually generate some life, right? Another big change that was made inside this preview will affect every single world. 20,000. On Minecraft and Java, this isn't that complicated like Bedrock. It's Java. So it's not too unusual on Bedrock when creating a world, so unfortunately spawning in that world that you're in anything ground, under the water somewhere, or just in general, it's not exactly the best world. I'm sorry I don't have more specifics on this one, but it's not a specific it's more on point of the how Earth-based each locations in good files, but farther from world ports are going to be preferred over bad locations but closer to the world. So, like, for example, let's out of this world. Let's say the origin point was, like, all the way down there in the water. That's clearly a bad one, because I don't want to spawn underneath. Like, meanwhile, this spot may be a little farther away from the origin point, something down there, but it's nice and perfect. Well, the game will hurt. It makes it spawn me a little further away from the origin. But instead, I'm solid land, so I can jump right in. Now, back over on the main menu, creating a world, inside of a world, inside of your world setting, we already talked about the brand new sliding toggle. Toggle is essentially players leaving percentage game rules. It does feel technically different. On the main menu right here, when I start to adjust this toggle right here, we go from all players most to half exactly at 50, with some to eventually some, which in itself is an interesting concept. No players need to be eventually. I can understand because it's automatically. But anyway, we got that toggle. It looks a little bit better. We're polishing up the menu. We also have settings. If I turn this off, then it no longer work inside of the world, and you won't be able to use it. But it's just a kind of a cool option right here. And again, this is the game previously in the game world. If I set the values to 100%, that would mean an impossible amount of players would be in bed from their nighttime. Would be skipped. Now the very final thing that is crazy well documented by agents. Big shot. The final thing that I wanted to talk about today before you go out your way is the fact that this most recent when it comes to the sound design, like right here, there's tons of documentation on the different sounds that are going on when compared to the preview, the Minecraft Java edition. And yeah, I'll hopefully they end up polishing this stuff up real soon because on Bedrock, when playing this thing, testing it out, it's so much more quiet. And honestly, the sound design is part of the next stuff coming up. An early update for changes to the previous update and the one to drop. That's it for today. If you enjoyed today's then you want to see all the next. Bye. From Mojang accidentally dropping the winter update a little bit early to even more bundles of bravery. How you doing, everybody? It's me, that hamster Vlad. Bright and early this fine Monday morning. We've got a lot to talk about. Now, our first stop of the day today is going to be over here in some of the most pale yet least guarded biome of all time, the Pale Garden biome. Walking around inside of this place, it's a little sparse. There's no dense fog quite yet. It's even really, really tiny. But at the same time, it's kind of the first big thing that I like to hone in on here is that brand new hanging moss plant. If I walk up to this plant and punch it with my hand for all fist, nothing will happen to me. Instead, the devs here have made a gigantic change to this plant. If you want to pick this plant up, you're going to want to take the easy thing, shears. From this point on, if you use a pair of shears on the hanging moss plant, that's how you're going to be able to pick it up. Alternatively, you can go ahead and get your hands on a silk touch tool, but you want to go through all that trouble with shears before. Now, this sneaky change was made in Minecraft 1.21.2 for release number 2. This sneaky little pre-release with a couple other freaking update changes ended up dropping for Java on 10.10 in the middle of last year. One of the more interesting changes that is noted out of that preview has to do with moss carpet. You see, moss carpet typically is pretty quick to break with your hand, but if you want to go ahead and speed this up, it's actually the stone. You can use the stone to clear out the moss carpet a whole lot quicker, and I guess it's been a thing for years with the other type of moss too. So this is one of those things that we were checking out, discovering together on stream on Friday. It was super fun. If you came to that stream, thank you. If you missed it, you want to see what the future, make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on. Tap like this. So here we've got our 3 different types of carpet. We've got pale moss carpet, the sword thing, it directly is changed to that one. We've got the normal moss carpet, the sword thing. I mean, it's always kind of hard to tell with a side-by-side something like this, but it's behaving exactly identical to the other type of moss thing. They both break the same quickly. My big question here, I haven't tested this one yet, what about normal gold carpet? Oh my god, has this mechanic been in the game for years? I've never known about it until this day. Something else. So next up, back inside of the tail guard, there was a nice little polishing face inside of this tree because it looked right by my eye. And if we walk around inside of this garden, we'll find the moss. So I want to pick up the moss, I can punch with my hand. It's easily break with the sword, and I think it's the same speed with a real. Should have been a hole. If you use a hole on the pale moss, just like the normal moss. I mean, look, this is one of those things that we were speculating, and it totally seemed like it was just like a small bug or something. And sure enough, that bug was polished and patched out as some of them previews. The quickest and best way to break this moss now, hands down, is to be the hole. It's so sweet, it's like on bedrock. And sound. Let's all up with the sounds here for our final change of the day that I want to talk about here with that one. I'll let you hear it, but it's quiet, it's crunchy, it's pale moss. The carpet was walking on it, it's the right sound. Now, alongside that nice polish, some Minecraft's next update coming out this winter. We also had a handful of bug fixes. By a handful, I mean like a solidly good handful. And some of the bug fixes on that update were ancient bugs sneaking while falling on slime blocks and glitchy fall damage. Since May 2000. So this is the crazy one. You know how it works. If I'm on a slime block and I go ahead and fall and I don't hit anything, well, then I kind of bounce back up. If I sneak, it kind of cancels that whole bounce. How it's been for the longest time, and a mechanic that, to be honest, I didn't realize it wasn't intended. But if I go ahead and take a big, large fall and I sneak while I'm falling, I slowly land. And there's no fall damage anymore. No matter the height that you fall, if you land on a slime block and you're sneaking, all damage from the fall is gone. That's a beautiful change. So alongside that really cool feature change, there are a handful of other nice bugs in the polish. For example, Ender Pearl interacts with the bubble balance a little bit more clean. But most importantly, at least in the future, we've got a whole ton of different pale oak and freaking and winter drop update things. Fast forward to Friday, right before I streamed, they released yet another pre-release. Now, it's kind of funny because these pre-releases, they're kind of meant to really just have tiny, small features. They don't really change very much here. Item highlight pop-up sauce. You know it, you love it. Underappreciated, maybe. We've been looking at it for years. When I select an item inside of the inventory, I get this info box telling me exactly what that item is. We'll talk to deep inside of resource packs, all the way at the bottom here. We've got high contrast packs. This preview changed something with that. So for starters, this is that whole neon mode pack that was added to the game a while ago. It's kind of cool, really, really fire. Nowadays, if I go ahead and highlight an item inside the inventory, that highlight right there is way more highlight than ever before. Another kind of neat change that went down is on the preview high contrast pack. It involves the bundle. If I start queuing things up inside the bundle, well, with this high contrast pack now, you can see that all these items are popping out like way more than they would have ever before. And this is before I even select them. Once I start selecting things, I get that neon cyan pop. Alongside that, nice little quality of life change if you mess with the high contrast resource pack. We also have a brand new feature inside of the resource pack, which version has bumped up to 40 units. It's for the bundle slot back. Another nice change from how the pre-release involves actually converting mobs. So let's say I had a zombie villager and I wanted to convert it. Well, now I can safely put this thing inside of a boat, hit it with the potion, give it the apple, and give it a little bit of time. Eventually, once the thing is done converting, it will stay in the phone. Previously, oh man. Before any of these changes, when this mob was converting, eventually after it finished converting, it would just like hop out of the phone and then you'd have to go and find it. Now, you never know how things go. Free releases can come out at literally any moment. As of the recording of this video, there are actually some bugs up in the bug tracker for whatever version comes next, whether that's free release 4 or a release candidate. But at least right now, while I'm recording this, there's not another free release yet. For that reason, I'm making this video like only a couple of hours before you're actually ending up with the movie. So I guess stay tuned. If there's a significant pre-release, I'll make a video. But otherwise, up until the release of the updates that I still believe is probably coming out next week, maybe on Tuesday. If there's anything too big, I'll make some short videos. Strip logs. There's no way you can argue against it. I won't hear it. I'll ban you from the channel. Strip logs are one of the most beautiful blocks of all time in my opinion. The thing that I love about these strip logs so much is the beautiful, smooth tone. You can put this in like basically any build and instantly whatever build you're working on becomes like a million times more beautiful. The brand new Palo log don't even get me started because not only is it a smooth tone, but it's a brand new texture as well. And of course, the like proper coloring of it. I mean, that's the color of a log you've been asking for in the game for literally years now, a decade. Last week, Minecraft preview 1.21.50.20, perhaps the largest preview of all time, not actually what. This gigantic preview implemented the Krieking update. Well, it added the brand new update, not behind an experimental bug, which confirms the devs are really for real, serious, big time about this thing releasing later this year. Now, for a little bit more on that, and the really cool new difficulty update changes, if you haven't seen it yet, then check out this video for that. Strip the logs, they're beautiful, but over here on Bedrock, they're different. So pretty much the very first thing that I noticed as soon as I jumped into the preview is the strict Palo log. I think it was literally the first block that I placed down, and I go, wait, what is, hold on a second, because on Bedrock it's this, on Java it's this. Now you don't even really need me to point out the differences because they're night and day. I'll go ahead and flash them back and forth like real quick for you, but yeah, the Java one is clearly a completely different texture and an entirely different tone as well. In fact, over on Bedrock Edition, this brand new stripped Palo log right now, though the top is pretty white and bright, the interesting thing here is this isn't the only stripped log, like this is the case with, for example, Spruce log. That's way darker than it is on Java. The texture, too, you can see here, it's not that fancy soft one. It's just a coloration, a grayed out of the stripped log texture that's meant to be here. In a reply to a tweet from Growl, lamenting beloved gold, the texture man himself says, yeah, Java 1 is the new iteration and makes a later preview. And that does it, that confirms the debate is over. For sure, the next Minecraft Krieking update feature, well, now that I think about it, I guess it's not yet. Sure. Hopefully later this week, the grayed out version of this log that I'm not going to lie is a little bit of a tease. This would be a nice thing to have, but it's just that this thing would be a nicer thing to have. Well, hopefully on Bedrock, this thing is updated and fixed up. Kind of a funny thing that I noticed about this grayed out pale log thing, well, in all of Mojang's promotions on Bedrock Edition, they were Minecraft Java Edition to promote that it's out now on Minecraft Bedrock. The log doesn't look like that on Bedrock. Next up, moving on. The interesting thing about the winter drop that surprised me on Minecraft Bedrock, like I guess like it makes sense, it just surprised me, is the fact that all of this stuff is not experimental when it's added to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It's just like straight up in the game. Now usually there wouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, it's a little bit more of an exciting thing. It means the update is almost there. But last week, alongside the release of the free 1.21.50.20 for players on Minecraft Android. And for this one, I'm not even talking like the preview version of the game on Minecraft Android. I'm talking like the straight up full and normal release for Minecraft Android. Well, every single one of these features in this gigantic, super long changelog, including, of course, none other than everything inside of the Witcher drop-up, well, it was actually rolled out to Android, the full version. The thing that makes all of this even more insane is the fact that none of this stuff is behind an experimental toggle, which means theoretically, last week, you're on Android, you saw an update, you got excited, you went into your world, updated it, you found out the pale log inside of your world, and now you're locked on the board for months and so on. So crazily enough, almost as soon as this update released for Android players was gone, only a couple of hours later, there was another Minecraft beta that dropped totally for Android. All of this new beta ended up doing was essentially throw back the big changes that were made in the first one. abandoned. So that's the problem, you see, because if you update your game to a new version of Minecraft, let's say a block that doesn't exist in the older version of Hello Blog, I mean, think about it, let's roleplay. Your Minecraft, you updated your game, you get all these new features, and you updated the features are gone. What do you even do with Minecraft itself? Like, there's no pale oak, there's no pale leaf, there's no pale moss, and definitely no biome either. Well, you already generated it before, so what's up with that? The ending of the story with this one is honestly kind of tragic because if you were one of the players who updated your world and got this new update on Android inside of your main world, and these updates, they probably were enabled by default, so it just updated. Well, if you open up your world and got any of these features, or even just open up your world, it's probably out of the picture, so the update actually released later. I was doing a little bit more digging into this one too, and I guess this isn't even the first time this has happened. Instead, this is just like one of the largest times this happened, because this time, the whole update happened to not be an experimental feature, or literally just added to the game. Maybe this is what Mojang meant when they said this stuff was coming to the game later this year. Now this preview, we talked about it in the initial preview video, we talked about it today, this is a gigantic preview. Since the initial video, I've actually found even more inside of this preview that's pretty big. First things first, the big change when it comes to items inside of the inventory, more specifically the grass items. Inside of the inventory, on the hotbar, wherever, take a look at these grass icons because they've been updated. When they're inside of your inventory, it will no longer be shaded the incorrect color. They'll now default to whatever this green is every single time. And on that note of grass, in case you're curious, birds, they change from biome to biome. It looks so good. I almost feel like they should naturally generate these biomes, right? Another big change that was made inside this preview will affect every single world, the spawning out. On Minecraft and Java, this isn't that common, but on Bedrock, it's the opposite. So it's not too unusual on Bedrock when creating a world to unfortunately spawn into that world and you're immediately drowning, like under the water somewhere, or just in general, it's not exactly the best world spawn. I'm sorry I don't have more specifics on this one, but inside of this most recent update, the world spawn point algorithm was improved. How? I'm not too sure. Basically, this should mean locations with good biomes, but farther from world origin, are going to be preferred over bad locations, but closest to the origin. So, like, for example, inside of this world, let's say the origin point was, like, all the way down there by the water. That's clearly a bad spawn because I don't want to spawn underneath the ice. Meanwhile, this spot may be a little farther away from the origin point, being somewhere down there, but it's nice and perfect. Well, the game's preferred. It takes to spawn me a little further away from the origin, but instead, on solid land, so I can jump right in. Now, back over on the main menu, when creating a world, or when inside of a world, inside of your world settings, we've already talked about this brand new sliding toggle. It looks cool in the main menu. This toggle is essentially players leaving for sensitive game rules. It does still technically exist. On the main menu right here, when I start to adjust this toggle right here, we go from all players basically to most to half, exactly at 50, to some, to eventually none, which in itself is an interesting concept. No players need to be an event to skip the nighttime. Does that mean it's automatically skipped? But anyways, we got that toggle, and it looks a little bit better, more polished on the menu with the new UI. We also have this brand new setting right here. If I turn this off, events will no longer work inside of a world, and you won't be able to skip the night. This is a kind of a cool option right here, and again, this is just like the game previously with the game rule. If I set the value over 100%, that would mean an impossible amount of players would be able to sleep in a bed, so therefore, nighttime wouldn't be skipped. Now, the very final thing that is crazily well documented by Adrian, so it's a big shot. The final thing that I wanted to talk about today before you go on your way is the fact that this most recent preview, when it comes to sound design, is absolutely broken. Like, right here, there's tons of documentation on the different sounds that are going on when compared to the new preview, the Minecraft and Java edition. And yeah, hopefully they end up polishing this stuff up really because on Bedrock, when playing this thing, testing it out, it's so much more quiet. And honestly, the sound design is such a huge part of the next stuff coming up. An early update for changes to the Creaking update and the monthly drop. That's it for today. If you enjoyed today's unusual upload on a Monday, let me know by tapping the like button. On the end card is another video perfectly fit for you to subscribe for more. It's been me, Waddles, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. How you doing, beautiful besties? This is me, Waddles, and welcome back to episode number 85 of the Minecraft Guide. In today's episode, I've got something a little special for you. Or, actually, like doing this. After last episode's big trial-y chambery extravaganza, I figured today to settle back into the groove of things over here at the old base. We'll go ahead and do something a little bit different. More on that in a second. Hey, a little something special for the members out there. The brand new World Download featuring Earbones, who's been to the left of the other base. I'll get him soon. Or, unfortunately, the demonic demon and everything else as far as your eyes it's all inclusive. We also, channel members, you are getting World Downloads of this world a little regularly. How about maybe a little more regularly? So I was thinking, considering the fact that the episode releases, they've slowed down a little bit. Maybe to offset things, maintain the balance of Order of the Universe, you know, how about for now? Maybe we try out World Downloads about every 5 or so episodes beginning today, episode number 85. So after we wrap up this episode, if you're interested in all of the 1.21 zone and even more, slide over to the community tab if you're a channel member, and you should see the World Downloads. Where? Right in front. For a little bit more information, tap the subscribe button, then tap it. Oh, so bright and early the next morning, farm, we've got a few of them. On the surface, it might not have looked like it, but Minecraft 1.21 was kind of an update all about farming, indirectly. With a bunch of the changes and implementations that Minecraft's stuff they've made, there are a ton of farms that have gotten way better than they ever were before. Now, whether this is due to a newfound block and maybe a newfound use or something else, today we're going to talk all about it. Here are 10 farms that just got better, and likewise, 10 farms need to build today. Now, around our base here, we got quite a few different farms. I figured this would be the perfect way to walk around, recap, reminisce, and just fall in love again with that sweet, beautiful, the moss farm. So, little caveat for almost every farm we're taking a look at today, there is an episode of the series for it, Moss Farm. Moss Farm? I knew that was going to happen when I made the building all green. It's a clay farm. Minecraft 1.21, one of the big things that we found in the last episode is a brand new sherd, one of which that I have since realized that I forgot over at the base. Trial chamber. I actually found every single brand new sherd over inside the chamber and forgot to bring just your home. How good. Now, alongside these brand new beautiful sherds, in one of the follow-up updates to Minecraft 1.21, these pods got a whole storage functionality, which is really, really good. Great. It would be a dream to be able to craft as many of these pots as you wanted, right? I mean, they look gorgeous. And so with new sherds on the menu and storage functionality too, that's where my world-renowned grade A, Class A, top-tier clay farm comes into play. So check out this rhythm right here. If you get the rhythm of motion just right, you can simultaneously scoop up the water, slam that water into a dirt block, transform it into a mud block forever, and then repeat the cycle again. Even better, a clay farm like this is pretty easy to build. I got a little clever here and hid water sources in the back wall, but if you wanted to, maybe you're a little bit short on time, feeling slacky, whatever, well, you go ahead and just put water right in the ground in front of it, and it's still decently efficient, as long as you keep your rhythm good. Hidden water sources or not, all you're really going to need to pull this thing off is a little bit of dripstone, some pointed dripstone, and the dirt blocks that you turn into mud. It's easy as that. Place them down, turn them into mud, give it a little bit of time, and automatically your block will turn into clay. I mean, look, it's thanks to that farm and the cool, crisp autumn air, one of my favorite seasons of all time, by the way, that I have a chest, a double chest, fully filled up with clay, all the way, definitely full, all the way, okay? I'm working. Sugarcane, it's one of the most useful plants in all of Minecraft, and the farm looks pretty hard. Maps, not only are they cool looking, but they're actually pretty useful too. Even more useful inside of Minecraft 1.20. It feels like yesterday I was just constructing this tower. This was a tower, legit, that I had, in mind, in my head, since, Minecraft Guide Season 3, where we left off. I kind of took on this style of build in Minecraft Survival, but it never ended up being the large monstrosity and masterpiece that I was aiming for. But, here we are, sugarcane. Thanks to this farm right here, I've got cane on cane on cane on cane. There's 4 floors here is what I'm saying. The layout is like decently compact. Maybe could be a little more compact up top, but whatever. And because I've decided to build this thing as a tower that brings me today's question of the day, Distant Horizon, tell me all about it. Would you like to see an episode on expanding Minecraft, beautifying it, and maybe implementing Distant Horizon in the guide for us forever? Call it down below. Sugarcane. If you want to find the new trial chamber, like we've talked about time and time again, the map is the way to go. If you want to get your hands on the map, well, you're going to need a little bit of paper, among some other things like last page, but paper, this is a big one. Set up a sugarcane farm, and you can not only buy yourself that trial chamber map, but build yourself a paper emerald farm, like we talked about in this episode, right there. Now, moving into the central hub zone of the world over here, we got a couple great farms. We got the lava farm. This is so great for easy, efficient people, but not necessarily made better for 1.21. We've got the cow farm over here. Tried through trust. Yeah, need the wheat. Step it up. Let's go. You're going a little slow. I ran out of all of the wheat since I've last been over here, and yeah, the food situation is getting a bit dire, you could say. We've got a clock tower. Definitely not a farm or anything.
Trump intends to enact a national sales tax that would raise prices on middle-class families by $4,000 a year. We will pass a tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans.
I need new tires. Perfect timing. Right now, during our tire savings event, if you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th for hopefully installed.
Well, that's a great deal.
Right? Can you imagine finding a tire for less?
Sorry, honey. I'm gonna need a tire.
No, definitely not. Let's get you those tires.
Okay.
Right now, during our tire savings event, all 3 tires are worth roughly $1. Toyota Service Centers. If you're Toyota, a Toyota.
I think what is beautiful for sure, and then we've got the bamboo farm. Maybe one of the largest farm improvements of Minecraft 1.21, thanks to a handy little block. Well, why the heck not? Let's go ahead and make it. Thanks to a handy little block with a beautiful base known as the Crafter. Enough data, seemingly all